Hey guys, welcome to another Friday morning, and sorry for being a couple of minutes late. I had a couple of technical issues, as can sometimes happen as well. So this morning I'm really excited to be talking about this topic, and I know it's kind of like a bit of a headline grabber in saying that how trying to be the best parent possible could actually be hurting our kids, and I certainly think that definitely at times that this can absolutely be true, and it's a pretty big topic. So hey to whoever's jumped on, I can't quite see. Hey Emma, great to have you here, and hopefully Trina will find me here as well, I'm sure. So say hi if you're here, and give me some love on a Friday morning. I'm just the same as you guys. I love to get love as well, so would love to have that. And so let's jump into today's topic though, because I am super passionate about this, and I think it's really important as well to really understand how this can happen and what we can then do to be able to rectify that as well. So for anybody else that's just jumped on, please say hi, and really looking forward to joining in a conversation around this as well. Hey Trina, I can see you now. And so how could trying to be the best parent ever actually be hurting our kids? I really think that at times we can actually identify with and allow our self-worth, hey Trina, allow our self-worth to be affected by our kids' responses to us, whether they're happy, whether they're sad, and we're trying to fill them up. We want to make our kids happy, and I really want to reiterate as well that the intention underneath this is nothing but pure love. And I can put both hands up and say everything I'm about to speak about I have done absolutely, and I've also learnt from as well. And one of the hardest things about being a parent is, you know, we're not given manuals. We're just given this beautiful gift to help guide and to help bring into the world and live their best life, and we don't always have the answers, and that's okay as well. And I think that's part of being a parent. And what can trip us up though is when we feel like we need to have all the answers, we need to have it right, we need to get it right as well. So this can underrail not only our own self-belief but our own self-worth. And I had a great conversation with one of my clients the other day that she'd taken her gorgeous kids away on an amazing holiday, but she was feeling quite upset and a little bit down that the gratitude just didn't seem to be there from them. Her kids are quite a lot older, definitely into their teen years, and they didn't seem to be grateful for what's going on or what they got to experience. And what I'm noticing is that more and more there's becoming this entitlement attitude that's coming through from kids, and that's what I really want to speak about as well. Hey Sarah, great to have you on here, honey. Say hi if you've just jumped on. I would love to see who's here and be able to say hi to you guys. And I'd love if you're wanting to ask any questions or definitely comments, things like that about what we're talking about, which is about empowering our kids and how sometimes being the best parent possible can trip us up as well around that. So being the best parent possible, what I've experienced is when we get caught up, when we're so busy with what's going on with life, is we can tend to fall into guilt tendencies and want to be able to make up for that for our kids. And so we're giving them everything that they need. If they're not happy, we're trying to make them happy. And what this teaches our kids is that the source of their happiness is out there, it's not inside. Hey Sarah. So that automatically can start to set them up for this, I need something other than myself, or I need something outside of myself in order to be happy. And I know, you know, as a human, I've definitely experienced that as well, and I'm sure you guys probably have too. And so this can be really tricky then in terms of teaching our kids their own guidance system. And ever since I've been on my own personal development journey, I've tried to set my kids up from that space of taking full responsibility for their own happiness. And sometimes the decisions that we make as parents don't impress our kids. And And that's okay. We've got to learn to be okay with that and to hold our own self-worth and our own standard for ourselves. Another thing that I really noticed, particularly as my kids started to get into, so my girls are 14 and 16 now, and as they started to get into those teenage years and that sense of separation started, which is where they're trying to find their own identity and where they're trying to separate from the family. And I know through conversations with other mums that I've had about this, is that they really, thanks Trine for sharing my video, and so what I've noticed is as that sense of separation starts, that it can really start to pull on the heartstrings if mum is heavily identified, or even dad, but more so what I've found is mums are heavily identified with needing the love from their kids, and they start to take it really, really personally if they haven't developed a strong sense of self or a strong sense of self-worth, and all of their identity is actually wrapped up in being a mum. And they can often lose the sense of, well, I'm not needed anymore, so therefore I'm not valuable or I'm not worthy. And this can be really, really tricky as well. So I'm talking about lots of different concepts here, but I'm going to bring them all together, which is coming back to our kids. And when we're over giving to our kids, when we're trying to fill them up, when we're trying to make them happy, when we're giving them pocket money, and my mentor, Scott Harris, I love what he says about this, giving kids pocket money without having them earn it, or, hey Shan, great to have you on here, hon, without having them earn it or work for it, or I'm all for abundance and I'm all for receiving and everything else. But when we give our kids pocket money, it's really setting them up for this entitlement attitude that, well, I don't have to do anything, I just deserve that. And when we think about it, if pocket money is given in that way, isn't it really setting them up for welfare or for dole and things like that? And please, no, I'm not against helping people where they need help. But we really want to be responsible with what we're actually teaching our kids and what are the morals and values that we're reinforcing with them. I want my kids to learn the small lessons rather than the big lessons, but I want them to learn them and to fall over, to hurt themselves. And I know that sounds harsh and callous, but it really is about that. It's about trusting in them, trusting in their own journey, trusting in their confidence to be able to get themselves up and get going again. And building that sense of independence. I know I'm not going to be around forever, and I want to know that my kids are totally okay to not only survive but to thrive the older that they get. And well, not even the older that they get, but as soon as possible, I want to be setting them up to be able to take care of themselves, to know that no matter what, they've got their back and they can take care of themselves. And it's almost like kind of giving them a good hard shove out of the nest, which can kind of sound a little bit harsh, but it is empowering for them. When we worry about them, when we stress about them, when we tell them that it's okay, I'll do that for you, what we're saying is you can't do that for yourself, and it really impinges on their own self-worth, their own self-belief. And it's also letting them know that it's not okay to fail and to get up and to try and try and try again. And I think if this is resonating, guys, I'd love to hear or see some love hearts or some comments or something there as well, just so that we know that we're all on the all on the same path kind of thing with this. But it's same with money. It's like, if my kids, I want them to blow the $50 rather than the thousands of dollars later on, and to have experienced that heartbreak, experience the upset of actually losing money and what that actually feels like, or being irresponsible with it at a younger age, so that they can then learn those what it is that they actually do need to do in terms of stepping forward with money as well. So all of these things can really make a huge difference in empowering our kids. And I feel like when we give our kids everything that they want, so they want the new toy, or, you know, we're down the street and it's like, oh, I really want this or I really want that. When we're giving them the instant gratification of, yep, you can just have that, yep, you can just have this, yep, it's setting them up for not really understanding the value of things, really understanding definitely, you know, the value of the self-belief and the confidence of knowing that you want something and then actually setting a goal and working towards that, and what that then creates for them moving forward. I truly believe that self-belief and confidence is created within. I don't believe that we're necessarily born with it. And a lot of people that I've spoken to that appear outwardly confident definitely have those times where, you know, they doubt themselves or they fear and they're worried and all of that, but they've actually learned how to overcome that within themselves. And I think that by our kids learning how to set goals, no matter how big or small they are to begin with, it might be just earning $20 by the end of the month, or it might be in buying their next new favourite thing, and actually helping them set out a plan on how to achieve that, rather than actually just going, yep, well, I'm just going to go get that for them because I can, or because I feel guilty because I've spent so much time at work, they deserve it. Or, you know, a lot of the time we're also offering rewards with food. You've been a good girl, you've been a good boy, let's go grab some food, or let's go have a special night. And I'm all for definitely rewards. I'm just going to read Treen's comment here as well. So, so Treen's saying the entitlement they have acquired drives me crazy. Yeah, totally. We go to the shop and they assume they can just get something. That's exactly right. And I taught my kids from a very young age, the more you say, I want this, I want this, I want this, and ask me for it, the more it is going to be an absolute no. And I think being consistent as parents is absolutely imperative as well. Having consistent boundaries and rules. And of course, you know, those boundaries and rules need to be flexible and not coming from what I call authoritarian, when they're co-created with our family. So we're sitting down and having real conversations with our kids and really understanding what their needs are, and loving on them in that way. And what are your hopes and dreams? What do you want to do when you grow up? And a lot of them, you know, they might have different ideas around that. And of course, that's going to shift and change and grow as we, you know, have shifted and grown ourselves. But helping them create that vision and stepping into that vision more and more, as opposed to, you know, just rushing through life, rushing through the next meal, and doing surface level stuff. And I think this is where, when we get busy, when we get tired, when we get frustrated, and we're trying to be the best parents possible by giving our kids everything that we think that they want, as opposed to what they actually really need, which is understanding themselves, understanding how the world works, and how to take true responsibility for themselves. I think that's one of the most empowering gifts that we can actually give our kids. And by taking responsibility, it's understanding what it is that they actually want and how they can actually start to achieve that themselves, and coming up with that plan. Authoritarian versus not controlling, leadership parenting is, we must go first. As parents, we must go first. We must set the standards. If we want our kids to have clean rooms, we've got to be taking care of our stuff. We can't be expecting them. One of my girls is the best at calling out on my own hypocrisy. She will be like, well, Mum, you know, maybe you want to have a look at that. Probably not quite in such blunt terms, but she definitely calls me out on my stuff. And I love that, because it's empowering, not disrespectful. It's about saying, okay, well, if this is the standard that you're actually setting for us, let's see this. And it really helps me be a better parent in that way, rather than saying, well, you need to clean your rooms and this needs to be done and you kids never help with anything. Or, you know, when we're trying to be a great parent, we're trying to, you know, have all the meals done and have the house clean and everything else. No, it's about creating a team culture where we're all working together. And that's what I actually sat down and discussed with my girls. You know, what are their highest values? What do they want to experience in our family? Was it harmony? Was it fun? Was it freedom? What is it for them? And again, you know, this is a discussion. It's not a one-time discussion. It's something that we have time and time again as well. And by doing this, we can really understand what's most important to them, but then also co-create with them in terms of, well, how are we going to make that happen? And if it's, me spending more time with you guys, how are we going to work together as a team to make that happen? And so then they were much more willing to come on board and help out with meals and help out with house cleaning and all of that stuff, where we're working together fully as a team, fully aligned, as opposed to actually me just saying, right, well, you guys need to do this, or you should be helping out with tea, or I'm really disappointed about this. It's about catching them doing more and more of the right things and helping them from that way as well. So the more that we can trust in our kids, trust in their ability. I know sometimes when we're teaching them how to cook tea and things like that, it can feel like it's actually slowing us down and actually make things feel like, oh my God, it's taking too long, or it's it's quicker and easier if I just jump in and do this. Look at the long-term benefits. Look at your intentions around parenting and what are your actual values there, and what is it that you really want to be teaching your kids as well. And I think, at the end of the day, we all want to be great parents, and I can definitely testify to that. And I think the more that we can look at the longer term picture in how do we want our kids to be functioning as adults, and what is it that I need to be role modeling to them. And I think this is where self-love and self-care for ourselves as parents is absolutely imperative as well, because if my kids see me running around being the martyr, doing everything that I think that I need to as a parent to be the best parent possible, then that's actually setting themselves up for that as well. And when we're doing that, generally we are that exhausted, we're that tired inside that we're not feeling fulfilled, we're not feeling happy, we're generally not having a great time and just sitting down and actually enjoying our kids as well. So I hope that's been helpful for you guys today. And yes, I totally agree with you, Shan, as well, around giving them your undivided attention and presence as well. I think that's absolutely imperative too. So, and your kids feel it. Like if you're on your phone, social media is a perfect example. Again, my girls call me out on this as well. If I'm spending too much time on my phone, I make an absolute point, if I'm having a conversation or they come in and they ask me something and I'm doing something, if I need to finish that, I will absolutely say, honey, I want to hear what you've got to say. It's really important to me. I need to finish this. Can you give me 2 minutes, or can you give me 5 minutes, or can you give me an hour? Is that okay? And then when I am with them, it's absolutely being 100% with them, putting down the phone, looking at them and being present. And we can't do that unless we've actually spent time taking care of our physical body, taking care of ourselves and loving on ourselves as well, nurturing ourselves, filling up our bucket so that we can really take great care of them as well and going forward from there. So hope that's been helpful for you guys today. And I know, a lot of this is just really reinforcing what I need to do as well as a parent. So we're all sharing the journey together. We're all walking forward in loving our kids in the best way possible. And I think the more that we can really do that from a place of clear intention, and I think self-responsibility for me, that's where I've always parented, not always, sorry, where I consciously choose to parent from since I've done a lot of my personal development stuff, is setting them up to be self-responsible in life, to take care of their own finances, to know that they can create their dreams and visions and that they can actually achieve them, that they don't have to be asking me all the time for what they want, and that they can really see me fail, see me pick myself up. And I'm really real and really honest with my kids, and some people might have different opinions around that, but I want them to know what it's like to be an adult as well, so that they, when they get there, I wrote a post about this morning. Sorry, I seem to be continuing my my bit of a ramble when I was going to finish up, but this is really important. And I think as adults, we can feel like we should have it all together. And, a lot of us, I know I can definitely put my hand up, and I would, even hedge a bet that pretty much everyone still has an area of life that they're working on, or, hasn't always got it all together all the time. We're all human, we all make mistakes. And I think the more that we can empower our kids and let them know that we're not always the best parent, and we do fail, and we do get upset, and we do get angry, and it's about having honest and real conversations with our kids as to why that's going on, and obviously within appropriate measures there of depending on age brackets and things for your kids. But every little nugget of wisdom that we learn, and when we're being real and honest and upfront with our kids, and picking ourselves up, and they can see us, you know, the ups and downs that we go through, and the more that we can depend on ourselves and love ourselves. Hey Kylie, great to have you on here, hun. The more that we can do that for ourselves, the more we empower our kids to do that for themselves as well. And I think there's nothing more refreshing than having real relationships with our kids, as opposed to, here, let me just fill all your surface needs, and I'll give you this and give you that, which sets them up for looking for that external validation, looking for their needs to be met externally, as opposed to them being able to find their own resources within themselves and build on that self-belief and that self-confidence, and taking self-responsibility for their own happiness as well. So have an amazing, amazing day, guys. Lots of love to you all, and enjoy your weekend, and look forward to speaking again with you guys next Friday, if not beforehand. Have a great morning. Bye for now.